Say something. I'm just talking. Blah, blah. Nay, Spike. Good.
Make a loud noise.
Ah.
One more time.
Ah.
Okay. All right.
Hey guys, so today we're gonna go on a tour in my first ever studio here in Beijing. I'm really excited to show you guys around, also kind of how the vibe is like and what I used to do on a normal painting day, you know, where I would meditate, where I would kind of go and chill on my breaks. And a lot of the artwork that are actually in the studio here are my oldest pieces that I made from a really long time ago because I moved most of my new stuff into my new place, which you guys will see in another video. But yeah, so you guys are going to be seeing some stuff that I haven't really shown anyone online yet. This is like a really special day today and I'm really psyched about it. I hope you are too. That over there, that's my first ever studio. We're gonna be heading up there right now. Follow me, follow me. Okay, so this is where it all started. In this space, you're seeing a couple different collections of mine. So I'm gonna do my best to make sense of all this chaos, but yeah, I hope you guys will follow along. So it looks quite different from when I was actually working here, but obviously I used to paint here. You don't really see the paint mess because I haven't painted here for a second, but this thing over here is actually where I used to store my paints, which I've taken now to my new place, but it's really useful. Yeah, I would have my oil paints, my brushes, my acrylics, and some linseed oil and turpentine all in here. And it's really convenient because it got these wheels and so forth. And then actually right before leaving this studio, I bought this desk, which I really like. It has, it's like a see-through glass on top that you can flip open, so it like goes, yeah, it goes up, and then I would draw on this table. It's like a standing desk, and then it would be like, I'm really not eloquent today, but yeah. So, and also over here, I would have this like place to put on my pens and like some other things. So this was a really nice drawing desk. It wasn't even located here when I was working here. This is some childhood shenanigans, some photographs, and yeah, so I guess I'll give a little brief. So these two paintings over here, I haven't seen in ages. I made this in high school, and the idea behind it, I can't remember what I called it, but the idea behind this piece was, it had something to do with personalities and how on the outside we could be, you know, one way, or like one color would represent how we came off to the world, but then when you get to know someone better, or maybe behind closed doors, you're a different way. And it also, at the same time, I remember that this, the different characters to me represented one person. We are all things at the same time, so you don't have to define yourself and put yourself in one box. You can be anything that you want, which is really like, it's really just what I believe in and how I live my life by. But yeah, I made a lot of pieces this year, but this one is from February. I actually have a YouTube video on this where I was showing the process of making it, but I rarely do gridding and I rarely actually plan my pieces ahead of time. For this collection, like this collection coincides with, I'm gonna show a couple more pieces from the same collection. That piece coincides with this one, which is also from the same collection, and this one, Medusa, Aglow. These are from the same collection. Also, Chameleon, which is on the wall over here. Up until this point, this is the only collection that I actually plan out. But it's actually a collection that I make to express my own, like, maybe more private emotions. I haven't really made fully public yet. You guys are seeing a quick glimpse of some stuff that I really don't post so much online. You can also see some like older pieces that I made in New York. This one is called Tangled, and I'm obsessed with her. I'm actually gonna keep this forever. Like, okay, wait, actually, I'm keeping this forever. And I'm keeping this forever too. They just mark different periods of my life. I love this one a lot. I love like how it's like framed, how I like painted the frame and how she's coming out of the frame. And it really expresses like femininity in a really cool, badass, sexy way that I really vibe with. And I know I'm never gonna paint something like this again. I don't think. I mean, maybe I'll have like an outburst. Okay, who knows? Maybe. And then this piece I made, during some harsher time. So those two pieces were made around the same time period. And that it's very special to me because I know I'm never gonna go there again. I'm never gonna feel those emotions again. So yeah, I will keep these pieces for myself. It's very special to me. I'd like to keep something from different periods of my process and evolution. Ooh, this piece here I made in high school, and my high school teacher, there were two of them. My high school teacher, I totally forgot about this. I got reminded recently, but she liked the other one so much that she bought it. Yeah, I literally forgot about that. I seriously have not shown this online, like at all publicly ever. But this is a piece, my dad really likes it. It's like a family portrait that I also did in high school. Yeah, you can even see our cat was here back then. And yeah, I think there's something very tribal about it. It's kind of interesting. I don't know what got into me to paint this. It's really different to the other stuff that I do. I also did this in my teens. I don't remember when exactly. I was really bad at signing my artwork up until recently. And I made this when I first went to New York and I came back for a summer, and I painted this kind of as my feeling of like, I guess it's like really just loneliness. It sounds so cliche, but yeah. This over here I made, it's like a, I don't even know what you would call this. Oh my gosh, it fell. But yeah, I made this like in high school, and I ended up making like a photography series of this as well, where I put it into different locations. Like I put it in a bathtub and I took photos of it in water, and then I put it in like sand, and I also like covered it with like red goo so it looked like it was covered in blood. And I have like a photography series of this. This baby, I'm obsessed with her. She's called Beijing Skyline. Kind of marks the period when I first got back again from New York to Beijing, like this time around. It actually represents the Beijing skyline as I was experiencing it, where every time I come back to Beijing, there's so many changes that happen. This guy over here represents kind of like that construction. What is this called? Lao Diao? Yeah, it's like a crane, but like I did like an abstract version of a crane to really show kind of like how every time I come back, there's construction going on. There's always more buildings. I think I cut, oh yeah, also this piece over here was just like, every once in a while, I'll just do a piece just because. When I get really bored, I'm like, I don't want to paint from imagination. Like I want to kind of do something that exists-ish. So then I did this, and I didn't even know I could do this, which is what happens to me all the time. Like I never know I can paint something, but then I do, and then it works out, and I'm like, what? How did this happen? And then I liked it so much, so I actually made 3 other pieces like this. I'm gonna show you guys the first ever painting that I did, which is this baby. And she's called Culture Shock. I remember painting her, and my plan was, I had a very brief outline of a plan. It was about emotions and what it represented, but I didn't know how I was gonna do that. So I knew that in the center, it would be me, and I specifically wanted the center person entity to be red. At the time, I had just recently moved to Beijing from Iceland. I was a teenager, so yeah, like this was the, what was I, 15 or 16? The 2 faces represented how I felt torn between China and Iceland, which is pretty much covers most of my younger life. And like now I just don't concern myself with having to label myself in that way. So in a way, this is Iceland, China, past, future. And I was in the middle, kind of like confused. My first ever painting, I fell in love. I literally remember painting like this area, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I love this so much. I remember that was a moment when I actually, in my heart, something like, I had a moment, like it really was, I knew I was in love. And I haven't had that much in my life. Like maybe another instance would be like snowboarding. But that wasn't as instant as this. This was seriously just like, I made this one, you know, in the middle of like feeling crazy. I literally made this in the middle of the night. Like I was supposed to go to sleep and I was like, I'm gonna like tear all my hair out if I don't paint right now. And I made that. Find out. But I have to fix it. Yeah, I mean on here, but I think it's okay, it's fine. Oh, that makes me so sad. Oh, actually, that's great. That's really good. That's really good. All right, cool. We can leave it here for now. Right, I forgot about her, but she's part of that series as well, of like the women, and where I'm exploring femininity in myself. Well, I mean, things are changing now, but a lot of us grew up thinking that embracing our masculine traits would help us achieve more in life. And so we weren't really taught to think being feminine was powerful and beautiful and represented strength as well. So that's actually what this like collection, where I haven't really made so public yet, is about, where I'm trying to really rediscover that strength of being a woman and not having to be masculine to be strong. Ooh, yeah, actually this window is really sick because when there's a full moon, usually it's over there. I might be getting this wrong. There have been quite a few full moons. When there would be a full moon, I would just crank out a piece. Like I would just like not sleep and just like use that energy, absorb it and paint something. Yeah, so I really miss that, and just being able to take breaks and go on a run, meditate in the garden. And there's a lot of nature around here. There's a river around here, which I really like. My new studio is in the city, so I still go on those walks, and not as often runs, but when I do, it's just not it's not a nice ambiance or environment. You don't really get that kind of nature, which is unfortunate. I'll show you guys kind of like when I take a break and I go outside, where I go to recharge. It's really interesting. I feel like my life is all about recharging, because I'm also recharging when I'm in the studio, but then I'm also recharging when I go out. What is my life? What is my life even? I don't know. I need to take a break from what I love to go and do this other thing that I love. That's exactly what my vibe, like what my life is right now. It's snowing outside, so it actually looks really cool. Extra cool. Wait, I'm gonna get my cup. Follow me. This is a bamboo? Yeah, it's like a bamboo. So this is such a vibe, right? Yeah. So I just come here, talk to the ducks. They're not ducks here right now, but you know. What I really like about this area is that we're far from the city, so it's very solid how I'm able to really focus on creating, which is nice, and the nature is beautiful. I really work my best, or create the best work, when I'm in a beautiful place with a lot of nature. For those of you guys who actually know anything about Beijing geography, we're in Shuni right now. This is kind of enough to actually get a vibe. It's cool, right? This is the vibe. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that it was fun to kind of just get a tour of my first studio, the vibe of it all. And I'm actually really excited to show you guys how things are now in my new studio. That's gonna be really fun. So I'll see you guys in the next video.
We're walking through the fire right now. And she's going. The Icelandic champion.
Mom, I love you. Är hon sträckt? That's how it happened. Woo! Shit. What I pretty much did in a usual painting day. Wait, I'm gonna redo this again. It's a dangerous spot. There was a period actually when I was painting so much. I was in my studio so much that I wasn't getting the chance to actually talk to people. I'm very eloquent right now.